everyone, welcome back to the Integrity Botanicals YouTube channel. Today I am finally going to be reviewing, swatching, sharing all the details about the incredible RMS EYELIGHTS Cream eyeshadows that are brand new on the Integrity Botanicals website. If you subscribe to the channel, which you should, as well as give a thumbs up, please, then you may have heard about these in my What's New at Integrity Botanicals video, which is a little series that I do here every single month, sharing all of the latest releases. And this is probably the thing that I was most excited about. It's 6 cream eyeshadows, all in the most beautiful metallic variety. And these are actually going to be replacing the RMS eye polishes. And I have to say, I think that these have gotten quite the upgrade. First of all, I love the packaging. The packaging is these little squeezable tubes. It has like a reflection of what the color may look like, very similar inside, as well as the shade name here on the back. You're able to just squeeze them. And the very best part is that they come with a reusable key. That way you can get every single bit out of this. And I can't imagine even hitting the end of one, but just in case I near that time, I think that is such a fantastic added addition. So these are $26 each, 6 beautiful shades, and they do claim to be crease proof. We will get there. They're a nourishing, metallic, buildable formula. All of that is absolutely true. And they are formulated with green tea extract as well as a natural peptide quinoa extract. So it's meant to be firming to the eye area, nourishing to the eye area, as well as being high performance makeup. So 8.5 milliliters worth of product is what you'll get in here. Again, $26 in 6 beautiful shades. It is what I'm wearing on my eyes here today. So I'm going to run through some of the shades and then we can discuss the formula a little bit, and I will also run through sort of what I have on my eyes today. It is incredibly simple, but that is what I love about these. All right, so I tried to kind of go lightest to darkest with the metallics. I feel like they're more on a spectrum because they pick up the light so beautifully. But let's start off with the shade Sunbeam. Sunbeam I am wearing on my inner corner here today. It is the most beautiful peachy golden tone. I am in love with it. One of my favorites. I could see this being just the most fantastic lid shade as the weather starts to warm up. I like this type of stuff year round, but it's just universally flattering, would look fantastic on a variety of different skin tones and still remain light enough to really be that pop of color. If you don't have hooded eyes like myself, I think this would even be cool to try doing some of the cut crease liner with, just because it picks up the light so fantastically. Then we have the shade Strobe. Strobe is described as a champagne mink, and I do have to agree. So it's very taupey in tone, but it's relatively light. This again would make for a fantastic lid shade. It can also be a one and done shade, but look at how well these pick up in the light. That is my favorite thing about them. That was my favorite thing about the eye polishes. I thought they just nailed the colors, and this is no exception. I like that it's quite a light tone with a lot of dimension, so it looks great on the lid if you are more of a cool toned person. Then we have the shade Flare, and Flare is a beautiful deep warm gold. This is probably my favorite one for that one and done sort of look. I always like to just apply these on the back of my hands, work them in, because I do find that these work best in more thin, light layers, because though they don't necessarily crease the way an eye polish would, there is a slight, like they'll fade a little bit throughout the day. So I like to get it as thin as possible so that it just remains on the lid, but this is nice and rich. It's warm without being too dark, so it's one of those almost barely there type of shadows. I could see this being so fantastic for a no makeup because it's definitely gonna look like makeup, but the metallics are so nice because since they catch the light in the crease, sometimes they'll settle a little bit darker, and in the inner corner they'll look a little bit brighter. And this is again one of those universally flattering shades. I mean, who does not love gold? And then we have the shade Blaze, and Blaze is a beautiful muted kind of more silver toned mauve. So this is a lot more purple than the strobe shade I mentioned earlier. This is so beautiful. It's almost like a lilac when it reflects in the light. A lot more purple here. I could see this looking so beautiful with some of the new Fit Glow purple shades that have come out with those multi-use pressed powders, which I am still absolutely obsessed with. That might be something I have to do. I can see that being a really cute little Valentine's Day look. And then we have the shade Halo. I love the shade Halo. Halo has quite a bit of pink to it. It is like a pinky sort of plum. It's got a little purple in there as well, but this is a little bit deeper of a shade. This is another fantastic one and done sort of shadow. If you have green eyes, you are gonna love this. Brown eyes, you're gonna absolutely love this because it's just gonna pull out those tones so nicely. I think this could also pair really beautifully with a nice smoky eye. That's just a really unique shade. There were some of the RMS powder shadows that we used to carry that were in that pinky tone. I couldn't tell you because they were all numbered. And I remember the tone that was most similar to that was my favorite. It was almost like a violet, and that is no exception. That's probably one of my more reach for ones as well. And then finally, probably my favorite, I just like a nice rich cream eyeshadow. This is the shade Spark, and this is a sort of bronzy plum. So this has the most pigment of all of them. It is what I have on my eyelids here today, which we'll run through how I like to apply them. Is that not just to die for? The ultimate one and done sort of shadow. This one you need to work with a little bit more quickly, only because it is more saturated in pigment that you don't want it to sit anywhere that you don't want. And when you are working in those thin layers, it does have a really nice dry down. So just make sure you're doing one eye at a time, and then you'll have no problems with these bad boys. So 6 fantastic shades. Now, how do I like to use them? Well, I have to say my Air Perez brushes have been some of my favorites, specifically the Line and Conceal brush. I actually think is so fabulous for this because we are getting a nice flat shader brush, and then we are also getting a more precise one, which is what I like to do under the inner corner or underneath my eyes, or if you want to use it as a bit of a liner. RMS does also have a brightening brush. I've seen that they will apply one layer of the same color and then apply a little bit more as a bit of a liner, and that's a really cool look as well, and maybe something I will demonstrate for you in the future. But today, as I've already mentioned, I like to apply just a tiny little bit of the product on the back of my hands. And I wouldn't fear doing this because they wash away really easily with soap and water. They're not like bulletproof. So I'll put a little bit on the back of my hand, take that conceal part of the brush, and I did already apply a little bit of bronzer in my crease, just so the blending work wouldn't be quite as difficult for me. So I really lay down exactly where I want this. I'll go in with my finger a little bit, but then I ultimately go in with a blending brush, a little bit more of that bronzer, and soften that edge. And you can see right here, it blended really beautifully. The pigment stayed really well intact despite all of that blending. And if you really want it to be even more saturated, I would go in and add just a little bit more once I've got that soft, diffused look that I'm looking for. So once I've applied this, I then wanted a little something in my inner corner, and that is where I went in with Sunbeam. Sunbeam and the little end of my brush right here. I do have to say, this part I wanted to make sure I was very, very precise because I'm working in such thin layers, and because I already have applied product, I just wanted to make it clean and crispy right there in the inner corner, as well as just that first portion of my eyelid. So I went in and I did that. I've had this on now for like 30 minutes. It's looking beautiful. Like I said, my main critique of these, they don't necessarily crease. They will fade a little bit throughout the day, but I always like to prep my eyes with a little bit of the Fit Glow Conceal Plus Concealer and a fantastic setting powder of your choosing. It not only makes a great base for eyeshadow, but it will also help these products last a little bit longer. What I like about them is since they're so easy to use with the fingers, if you did decide that you wanted to add a little bit more, very easy to do so if you wanted to do that throughout the day. And the dry down's easy, and the cleanup is very simple as well. I was able to remove them all with a makeup wipe, which I like when something stays in place, but it is not a total pain to remove. So, all right, everyone, that is it. I really hope that you found this video helpful. If you did, if you could please give it a big thumbs up, subscribe. I upload new videos here every single week, and I don't want you guys to miss them. Again, if you want to shop anything right here, right now, direct links to the product will be down below, as well as a swatch photo so you could check all of these shades out. But I'm really impressed with them. I really, really like them. I think that they are an absolute upgrade from the eye polishes as well, because those just creased immediately. So if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, make sure to drop them down below. I'd always love to hear your thoughts if you've gotten your hands on a few of these as well. I do believe we are offering some testers on the website, or samples, so I will make sure that I include that down below for you as well. But thank you all so much for watching. Thank you so much for all the love and support. Please make sure to check out all of our other social media channels as well, and I will catch you guys in my next one. Bye!